what I also often find is that since people are so eager to beat themselves down, when they feel good, they tend to call it arrogance or superiority, when sometimes it's just confidence. So just be really clear before you say it actually is superiority. Whether it actually is superiority or it's just, originally it's just feeling really good about yourself, which is not superiority. It's only superiority when you feel like you're lacking superiority, when you're lacking brilliance, when you're lacking feeling good about yourself, that you need to project onto others that you're better than them. When you're simply feeling overwhelmingly good about yourself, you don't need to call anybody better or worse. Inequality disappears entirely when you feel good about yourself. So sometimes feeling good about yourself, wholly good about yourself, can be perceived as arrogance, can be thought of as arrogance, but it actually isn't. It's just your freedom to be your authentic self and to stop inserting ideas like I'm unworthy of being confident. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so continue.
Maybe that's...
Maybe that's it?
Yeah.
So you imagine that, you feel real good about yourself, and then this voice from your past self comes in that says, hey, but wait a minute, if I feel good about myself, that must mean I'm not worthy of it. So let's call it feeling superior, or the ego, or something like that. Well, actually, if you look at it, you're just feeling good about yourself. If you don't include anybody else for a moment, if you don't include the projections of, oh, I need to be better than anybody else, what's really happening is that you simply feel self-love, self-confidence, freedom. You feel the freedom to be you. That's not superiority. In a sense, it's superior way of living to how you have been living, but it's not that you are more of anything than anybody else. And if you allow yourself to actually feel confident and good, even if for a moment you may still call that arrogance and superiority, if you just focus on the feeling itself and allow the part that feels good about it to really just sink into your body, sink into your now, and just give yourself full permission to be feel completely good about yourself. When you do that, you'll find that it naturally takes away the focus on others. And for the first time ever, you're minding your own business. And that's good. You're actually respecting people more when you're feeling good about yourself than when you pretend that you don't want to feel good about yourself, because that would mean that you're being arrogant. And what does it mean if you're arrogant? It means you're not lovable, right? And nobody wants to not be lovable. Why? Because we perceive we're in lack. We perceive we are in need of love, but we're not in need of love. We are love. And so the better we feel about ourselves, and there may be twinges of arrogance that come with that, but you'll see very quickly, if you allow yourself to feel it, you'll feel very quickly, you'll gain the wisdom and the clarity very quickly to cut through that which actually is arrogance. And remember, arrogance is disempowerment. It is the idea that you're lacking. Therefore, you need to be arrogant. You need to be superior. If you don't believe you're lacking anything, if you really don't have that belief, there's no arrogance. There's no focus on other people. Because you're so fulfilled with your own energy, with your own self. And you'll see that all beings are part of that energy. All is included in that, ultimately. So allow yourself to feel confident. And the more you give yourself permission to do that, the more you transcend the level of frequency ideas where you keep beating yourself down back into, oh, I'm just a selfish little boy. If I want to feel good about myself, if I want to be arrogant, I'm just selfish. Those kind of ideas suddenly no longer have access to you, or you stop accessing them. And by simply feeling so good about yourself that you can only feel good about yourself, all of these ideas disappear. And you can no longer believe in inequality. No longer exists. If anything, you see that, if anything, you wish for others to experience the same confidence, the same self-love, the same freedom, the same permission. You want people to give themselves permission to be themselves. Because you see that it works. And it's completely harmless. It's completely loving. But from a lower frequency state, we only have access to ideas that beat ourselves and each other down. We all keep each other limited. As soon as there's somebody that, whoop, rises a little bit above, there's a big guy with a hammer. Bam. You know, one of those old video games where moles start to crawl out of the ground and you need to hammer them as quickly as possible. Da, da, da. That's what we're all doing to each other. Because we're doing it to ourselves. So if you allow yourself to be superior, if that's what you want to call confidence, and simply focus on the feeling that you're calling superiority, but really it's just feeling good about yourself, then before long, all the ideas, the circumference ideas of, I'm not worthy, therefore let me be arrogant, let me express how good I feel about myself to others, to the extent of feeling even better about myself. That kind of stuff is only necessary. We only need to prove how good we feel about ourselves if we don't actually feel that good about ourselves. So you simply start to see these ideas, you start to see these limitations, and you'll naturally, they'll naturally dissolve in your brightness, in your light, like the sun outshining the stars in day.